Hello. Welcome to Fun with Facts, on this day in history. Please like and subscribe for more daily facts. Leave a comment below with the event that happened on this day that interested you the most. On this day in history, September 5th. September 5th is the 248th day of the year, 249th in leap years, in the Gregorian calendar. 117 days remain until the end of the year. Events. 917, Liu Yan declares himself emperor, establishing the Southern Han state in southern China, at his capital of Panyu. 1367, Swa Sa Ku becomes king of Ava. 1. 1590, Alexander Farnese's army forces Henry IV of France to lift the siege of Paris. 1622, a hurricane overruns a Spanish fleet bound from Havana to Cadiz and sinks the galleon Atacha. Only 5 men are rescued, but 260 passengers and 200 million pesos are buried with the Atacha under 50 feet of water. 2. 1661, fall of Nicolas Fouquet. Louis Xiv, superintendent of finances, is arrested in Nantes by D'Artagnan, captain of the King's Musketeers. 1666, Great Fire of London ends. 10,000 buildings, including Old St. Paul's Cathedral, are destroyed, but only 6 people are known to have died. 1697, War of the Grand Alliance, a French warship commanded by Captain Pierre Le Moyne d'Iberville defeated an English squadron at the Battle of Hudson's Bay. 1698, in an effort to westernize his nobility, Tsar Peter I of Russia imposes a tax on beards for all men except the clergy and peasantry. 1725, wedding of Louis XV and Maria Lesksinska. 1774, First Continental Congress assembles in Philadelphia. 1781, Battle of the Chesapeake. In the American Revolutionary War, the British Navy is repelled by the French Navy, contributing to the British surrender at Yorktown. 1791, Olympe de Gouges writes the Declaration of the Rights of Woman and of the Female Citizen. 1793, French Revolution, the French National Convention initiates the Reign of Terror. 1798, conscription is made mandatory in France by the Jordan Law. 1812, War of 1812, the siege of Fort Wayne begins when Chief Winamax's forces attack 2 soldiers returning from the fort's outhouses. 1816, Louis XVIII has to dissolve the chamber introuvable, unobtainable chamber. 1836, Sam Houston is elected as the first president of the Republic of Texas. 1839, the United Kingdom declares war on the Qing dynasty of China. 1862, American Civil War. The Army of Northern Virginia crosses the Potomac River at White's Ford in the Maryland Campaign. 1877, American Indian Wars. Oglala Sioux Chief Crazy Horse is bayoneted by a United States soldier after resisting confinement in a guardhouse at Fort Robinson in Nebraska. 1882, the first United States Labor Day Parade is held in New York City. 1887, a fire at the Theatre Royal, Exeter, kills 186. 1905, Russo-Japanese War. In New Hampshire, United States, the Treaty of Portsmouth, mediated by U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt, ends the war. 1914, World War I, First Battle of the Marne begins. Northeast of Paris, the French attack and defeat German forces who are advancing on the capital. 1915, the pacifist Zimmerwald Conference begins. 1932, the French Upper Volta is broken apart between Ivory Coast, French Sudan, and Niger. 1937, Spanish Civil War, Lannes falls to the nationalists following a one-day siege. 1938, Chile, a group of youths affiliated with the fascist National Socialist Movement of Chile are executed after surrendering during a failed coup. 1941, whole territory of Estonia is occupied by Nazi Germany. 1942, World War II, Japanese High Command orders withdrawal at Milne Bay, the first major Japanese defeat in land warfare during the Pacific War. 1943, World War II, the 503rd Parachute Infantry Regiment lands and occupies La Nadzab Airport, near La in the Salamat-La campaign. 1944, Belgium, Netherlands and Luxembourg constitute Benelux. 1945, Cold War, Igor Guzenko, a Soviet Union embassy clerk, defects to Canada, exposing Soviet espionage in North America, signaling the beginning of the Cold War. 1945, Iva Toguri Dekino, a Japanese-American suspected of being wartime radio propagandist Tokyo Rose, is arrested in Yokohama. 1948, in France, Robert Schuman becomes president of the council while being foreign minister. As such, he is the negotiator of the major treaties of the end of World War II. 1954, KLM Flight 633 crashes into the River Shannon in Shannon, County Clare, Ireland, killing 28. 1957, Cuban Revolution, Fulgencio Batista bombs the revolt in Cienfuegos. 1960, poet Leopold Sédar Senghor is the first elected president of Senegal. 1960, Muhammad Ali, then known as Cassius Clay, wins the gold medal in the light heavyweight boxing competition at the Olympic Games in Rome. 1969, My Lai Massacre, U.S. Army Lieutenant William Calley is charged with 6 specifications of premeditated murder for the death of 109 Vietnamese civilians in My Lai. 1970, Vietnam War, Operation Jefferson Glen begins. The United States 101st Airborne Division and the South Vietnamese 1st Infantry Division initiate a new operation in Thu Thien, Hue Province. 1970, Johan Rindt becomes the only driver to posthumously win the Formula One World Drivers' Championship, in 1970, after being killed in practice for the Italian Grand Prix. 1972, Munich Massacre, a Palestinian terrorist group called Black September attacks and takes hostage 11 Israeli athletes at the Munich Olympic Games. 2 die in the attack and 9 are murdered the following day. 1975, Sacramento, California, Lynette from attempts to assassinate U.S. President Gerald Ford. 1977, Voyager program, NASA launches the Voyager 1 spacecraft. 1978, Camp David Accords, Menachem Begin and Anwar Sadat begin peace discussions at Camp David, Maryland. 1980, the Gotthard Road Tunnel opens in Switzerland as the world's longest highway tunnel at 10.14 miles (16.32 kilometers), stretching from Goskinen to Airolo. 1981, the first women arrive at what becomes Greenham Common Women's Peace Camp in the UK. 1984, STS-41D, the Space Shuttle Discovery lands after its maiden voyage. 1984, Western Australia becomes the last Australian state to abolish capital punishment. 1986, Pan Am Flight 73 from Mumbai, India with 358 people on board is hijacked at Karachi International Airport. 1990, Sri Lankan Civil War, Sri Lankan Army soldiers slaughter 158 civilians. 1991, the current international treaty defending indigenous peoples, Indigenous and Tribal Peoples Convention, 1989, comes into force. 1996, Hurricane Fran makes landfall near Cape Fear, North Carolina as a Category 3 storm with 115 miles per hour sustained winds. Fran caused over $3 billion in damage and killed 27 people. 2012, an accidental explosion at a Turkish army ammunition store in Afyon, Western Turkey kills 25 soldiers and wounds 4 others. 2021, the president of Guinea, Alpha Condé is captured by armed forces during a coup d'état. 5. Births. 989, Fan Zhongyan, Chinese chancellor, died in 1052. 1187, Louis VIII, King of France, died in 1226. 1201, Alix of Thouars, Duchess of Brittany, died in 1221. 1319, Peter IV, King of Aragon, died in 1387. 1451, Isabel Neville, daughter of Richard Neville, died in 1476. 1500, Maria of Jever, ruler of the Lordship of Jever, died in 1575. 1533, Jacopo Zabarella, Italian philosopher and logician, died in 1589. 1540, Magnus of Holstein, Prince of Denmark, died in 1583. 1567, Date Masamune, Japanese daimyo, died in 1636. 1568, Tommaso Campanella, Italian poet, philosopher, and theologian, died in 1639. 1638, Louis XIV, King of France, died in 1715. 1641, Robert Spencer, 2nd Earl of Sunderland, English diplomat, died in 1702. 1642, Maria of Orange-Nassau, Dutch princess, died in 1688. 1651, William Dampier, English explorer, died in 1715. 1666, Gottfried Arnold, German historian and theologian, died in 1714. 1667, Giovanni Girolamo Sacchari, Italian priest, mathematician, and philosopher, died in 1733. 1694, František Václav Majka, Czech conductor and composer, died in 1744. 1695, Carl Gustaf Tesson, Swedish politician and diplomat, died in 1770. 1722, Frederick Christian, Prince-Elector of Saxony, died in 1763. 1725, Jean-Étienne Montucla, French mathematician and theorist, died in 1799. 1735, Johann Christian Bach, German-English viol player and composer, died in 1782. 1750, Robert Fergusson, Scottish poet and author, died in 1774. 1769, John Shortland, English commander, died in 1810. 1771, Archduke Charles, Duke of Teschen, died in 1847. 1772, Fath Ali Shah Qajar, Iranian king, died in 1834. 1774, Caspar David Friedrich, German painter and etcher, died in 1840. 1775, Juan Martín Díaz, Spanish general, died in 1825. 1781, Anton Diabelli, Austrian composer and publisher, died in 1858. 1787, François Sulpice-Beaudent, French mineralogist and geologist, died in 1850. 1791, Giacomo Meyerbeer, German pianist and composer, died in 1864. 1792, Ars Pierre Armand Petit-Dufresnoy, French geologist and mineralogist, died in 1857. 1806, Christophe Léon Louis Duchault de la Moricière, French general and politician, French minister of war, died in 1865. 1817, Alexei Konstantinovich Tolstoy, Russian poet, author, and playwright, died in 1875. 1818, Edmund Kennedy, Australian explorer and surveyor, died in 1848. 1826, John Wisten, English cricketer and businessman, died in 1884. 1827, Goffredo Mameli, Italian poet and songwriter, died in 1849. 1829, Lester Allen Pelton, American inventor, died in 1908. 1831, Victorien Sardou, French author and playwright, died in 1908. 1833, George Huntington Hartford, American businessman, died in 1917. 1836, Justiniano Borgono, Peruvian soldier and politician, 57th President of Peru, died in 1921. 1847, Jesse James, American outlaw, died in 1882. 1850, Eugen Goldstein, German physicist, died in 1930. 1856, Thomas E. Watson, American lawyer, publisher, and politician, died in 1922. 1867, Amy Beach, American pianist and composer, died in 1944. 1871, Friedrich Ackel, Estonian physician and politician, head of state of Estonia, d. 1941. 1872, V.O. Chidambaram Pillai, Indian lawyer and politician, died in 1936. 1872, Horace Rice, Australian tennis player, died in 1950. 1873, Cornelius Vanderbilt III, American general and engineer, died in 1942. 1874, Nap Lajoie, American baseball player and manager, died in 1959. 1876, Wilhelm Ritter von Lieb, German field marshal, died in 1956. 1880, José María of Manila, Spanish-Filipino priest and martyr, died in 1936. 1881, Otto Bauer, Austrian philosopher and politician, foreign minister of Austria, died in 1938. 1881, Henry Maitland Wilson, 1st Baron Wilson, English Field Marshal, died in 1964. 1883, Otto Erich Deutsch, Austrian musicologist and scholar, died in 1967. 1888, Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, Indian philosopher and politician, 2nd President of India, died in 1975. 1892, Joseph Szigeti, Hungarian violinist and educator, died in 1973. 1897, Morris Karnofsky, American actor, died in 1992. 1897, Arthur Nielsen, American market analyst, founded AC Nielsen, died in 1980. 1899, Humphrey Cobb, American author and screenwriter, died in 1944. 1899, Helen Creighton, Canadian author and educator, died in 1989. 1901, Florence Eldridge, American actress, died in 1988. 1901, Mario Scelba, Italian politician, 33rd Prime Minister of Italy, died in 1991. 1902, Jean Dalrymple, American playwright, producer, manager, and publicist, died in 1998. 1902, Darryl F. Zanuck, American actor, director, producer, and screenwriter, died in 1979. 1904, Vera Bradford, Australian pianist and educator, died in 2004. 1905, Maurice Chal, French general, died in 1979. 1905, Arthur Koestler, Hungarian-English journalist and author, died in 1983. 1905, Justiniano Montano, Filipino lawyer and politician, died in 2005. 1906, Ralston Crawford, American painter, lithographer, and photographer, died in 1978. 1906, Sunnyland Slim, American singer-songwriter and pianist, died in 1995. 1908, Josué de Castro, Brazilian physician, geographer, and activist, died in 1973. 1908, Joaquin Nin-Kolmel, German-American pianist and composer, died in 2004. 1908, Cecilia Sigezzi, Italian composer and painter, died in 2019. 1909, Hans Karst, German pianist and conductor, died in 1971. 1909, Bernard Delfont, Russian-English talent manager, died in 1994. 1909, Archie Jackson, Scottish-Australian cricketer, died in 1933. 1910, Layla McKinlay, English author, died in 1996. 1910, Firoz Palia, Indian cricketer, died in 1981. 1912, John Cage, American composer and theorist, died in 1992. 1912, Christina Soderbaum, Swedish-German actress and photographer, died in 2001. 1912, Frank Thomas, American voice actor, animator, and screenwriter, died in 2004. 1914, Stuart Freeborn, English makeup artist, died in 2013. 1914, Gail Kubik, American violinist, composer, and educator, died in 1984. 1914, Nicanor Parra, Chilean physicist, mathematician, and poet, died in 2018. 1916, Frank Schuster, Canadian comedian, actor, and screenwriter, died in 2002. 1916, Frank Yerby, American novelist, died in 1991. 1917, Pedro E. Guerrero, American photographer, died in 2012. 1917, Soren Nordin, Swedish harness racer and trainer, died in 2008. 1918, Luis Alcariza, Mexican actor, director, and screenwriter, died in 1992. 1918, Bob Catter, Sr., Australian captain and politician, died in 1990. 1918, Fred McCarthy, American cartoonist and monk, died in 2009. 1919, Elizabeth Volkenrath, German SS officer, died in 1945. 1920, Peter Racine Fricker, English-American composer and educator, died in 1990. 1920, Alphonse Rodemakers, Dutch-Swiss actor, director, producer, and screenwriter, died in 2007. 1921, Murray Henderson, Canadian ice hockey player and coach, died in 2013. 1921, Jack Valenti, American businessman, created the MPAA film rating system, died in 2007. 1922, Dennis Wilkinson, English physicist and academic, died in 2016. 1923, David Hamer, Australian captain and politician, died in 2002. 1923, Ken Muhlman, Australian cricketer, died in 2004. 1924, Paul Dietzel, American football player and coach, died in 2013. 1924, Frank Armitage, Australian-American artist, died in 2016. 1925, Justin Kaplan, American author, died in 2014. 1927, Paul Volcker, American economist and academic, died in 2019. 1928, Joyce Hatto, English pianist and educator, died in 2006. 1928, Albert Mangelsdorf, German trombonist and educator, died in 2005. 1929, Bob Newhart, American comedian and actor. 1929, Andriy Nikolaev, Russian general, pilot, and astronaut, died in 2004. 1932, Carol Lawrence, American actress and singer. 1932, Robert H. Dennard, American electrical engineer and inventor. 1933, Francisco Javier Errázurizaza, Chilean cardinal. 1934, Paul Joseph Cordes, German cardinal. 1934, Dennis Letts, American actor and educator, died in 2008. 1934, Kevin McNamara, English politician, Shadow Secretary of State for Northern Ireland, died in 2017. 1935, Werner Erhard, American author and philanthropist, founded Werner Erhard and Associates and the Hunger Project. 1935, Helen Gifford, Australian composer and educator. 1936, Robert Burns, Canadian lawyer and politician, died in 2014. 1936, John Danforth, American politician and diplomat, 24th United States Ambassador to the United Nations. 1936, Jonathan Kozol, American sociologist, author, and educator. 1936, Bill Mazeroski, American baseball player and coach. 1936, Nuts Skujeniks, Latvian poet, journalist, and translator. 1937, Antonio Valentin Angelillo, Argentinian footballer and manager, died in 2018. 1937, Dick Clement, English director, producer, and screenwriter. 1938, John Ferguson, Sr., Canadian ice hockey player, coach, and manager, died in 2007. 1938, Doreen Massey, Baroness Massey of Darwin, English politician. 1939, Claudette Colvin, American nurse and activist. 1939, William Devane, American actor, director, and screenwriter. 1939, George Lazenby, Australian actor. 1939, Jon Stewart, American singer-songwriter and guitarist, died in 2008. 1939, George Tremlett, English journalist, author, and politician. 1940, Valerie Howarth, Baroness Howarth of Breckland, English politician. 1940, Raquel Welch, American actress and singer. 1941, Dave Dryden, Canadian ice hockey player and coach. 1942, Werner Herzog, German actor, director, producer, and screenwriter. 1942, Eduardo Mata, Mexican conductor and composer, died in 1995. 1943, Dulce Saguesag, Filipino social worker and politician, 10th Filipino Secretary of Social Welfare and Development, died in 2007. 1944, Dario Bellezza, Italian poet, author, and playwright, died in 1996. 1944, Gareth Evans, Australian lawyer and politician, 33rd Australian Minister of Foreign Affairs. 1945, Eva Bergman, Swedish director and screenwriter. 1945, Al Stewart, Scottish singer-songwriter and guitarist. 1946, Kyungi Chang, South Korean astrophysicist and academic. 1946, Dennis Dugan, American actor and director. 1946, Dean Ford, Scottish singer-songwriter and guitarist, Marmalade, died in 2018. 1946, Freddie Mercury, Zanzibari English singer-songwriter and producer, died in 1991, 7. 1946, Loudon Wainwright III, American singer-songwriter, guitarist, and actor. 1947, Mel Collins, Manx saxophonist and flute player. 1947, Chip Davis, American pianist, songwriter, and producer. 1947, Buddy Miles, American singer-songwriter and drummer, died in 2008. 1947, Bruce Yardley, Australian cricketer and sportscaster, died in 2019. 1948, Benita Ferrero-Waldner, Austrian lawyer, politician, and diplomat, Foreign Minister of Austria. 1949, Clem Clemson, English guitarist and songwriter. 1950, Rosie Cooper, English businesswoman and politician. 1950, Kathy Geiswhite, American cartoonist, created Kathy. 1951, Paul Breitner, German footballer. 1951, Michael Keaton, American actor and producer. 1951, Jamie Oldacre, American drummer and percussionist, died in 2020. 1952, David Glenn Isley, American rock singer-songwriter and actor.
1953, Victor Davis Hanson, American historian and journalist.
1953, Murray Mexted, New Zealand rugby player and sportscaster.
1953, Eiki Nestor, Estonian engineer and politician, Estonian Minister of Social Affairs.
1953, Paul Pish, Canadian singer-songwriter. 1954, Richard Austin, Jamaican footballer and cricketer, died in 2015.
1954, Frederick Kemp, American journalist and author. 1956, Lothia Keong, Singaporean businessman and politician. 1956, Roine Stolt, Swedish singer-songwriter, guitarist, and producer.
1957, Rudi Gors, German footballer and manager.
1957, Peter Winnen, Dutch cyclist. 1958, Lars Danielsson, Swedish bassist, composer, and producer.
1959, Frank Schirmacher, German journalist and publisher, died in 2014.
1960, Don Kulik, Swedish anthropologist and academic.
1961, Marc-André Hamelin, Canadian pianist and composer.
1962, Tracy Edwards, English sailor and coach. 1962, John McGrath, Welsh businessman. 1963, Juan Alderete, American bass player and songwriter. 1963, Jeff Brantley, American baseball player and sportscaster. 1963, Terry Ellis, American R&B singer, songwriter and actress. 1963, Teki Inoue, Japanese race car driver and manager. 1964, Frank Farina, Australian footballer and manager. 1964, Sergei Loznitsa, Belarusian Ukrainian director and screenwriter. 1964, Ken Norman, American basketball player. 1964, Thomas McCall Ford, American actor, died in 2016. 1965, David Brabham, Australian race car driver. 1965, Hashitango Imachi, Japanese wrestler. 1965, Nick Talbot, English geneticist and academic.
1966, Achero Manas, Spanish actor, director, and screenwriter.
1966, Milinko Pantic, Serbian footballer and manager. 1967, Matthias Sammer, German footballer and manager.
1967, Jane Sixsmith, English field hockey player. 1968, Serhii Kovalets, Ukrainian footballer and manager.
1968, Dennis Scott, American basketball player and sportscaster. 1968, Robin van der Laan, Dutch footballer and coach. 1968, Brad Wilk, American singer-songwriter and drummer.
1969, Leonardo Orojo, Brazilian footballer and manager. 1969, Mariko Kuda, Japanese voice actress, singer, and radio host.
1969, Mark Ramprakash, English cricketer and coach.
1969, Dweezil Zappa, American actor and musician.
1970, Liam Lynch, American singer-songwriter, guitarist, puppeteer, and director. 1970, Mohammad Rafiq, Bangladeshi cricketer. 1970, Gilbert Rimola, Filipino journalist and politician.
1970, Johnny Vegas, English actor, director, producer, and screenwriter. 1971, Adam Hollyoak, Australian cricketer and mixed martial artist. 1972, Shane Sewell, Canadian-American wrestler and referee.
1972, Guy Whittall, Zimbabwean cricketer.
1973, Paddy Considine, English actor, director, and screenwriter.
1973, Rose McGowan, American actress.
1974, Lauren Jeska, British transgender fell runner convicted of the attempted murder of Ralph Knibbs, 8. 1974, Raul Lewis, Grenadian cricketer.
1974, Ken Marty Vaher, Estonian politician, Estonian Minister of the Interior.
1975, Rod Barras, American baseball player and manager. 1975, George Boateng, Dutch footballer and manager. 1975, Randy Choate, American baseball player.
1975, Matt Geyer, Australian rugby league player and coach. 1976, Tatiana Gutsu, Ukrainian gymnast. 1977, Roosevelt Colvin, American football player and sportscaster. 1977, Joseba Echeverria, Spanish footballer. 1977, Minoru Fujita, Japanese wrestler. 1977, Nazr Mohammed, American basketball player. 1978, Laura Bertram, Canadian actress. 1978, Chris Jack, New Zealand rugby player. 1978, Sylvester Joseph, Antiguan cricketer. 1978, Zheng Zhong, Chinese chess player. 1979, John Carew, Norwegian footballer.
1979, Stacey Dales, Canadian basketball player and sportscaster.
1979, Julien Lizarux, French skier. 1979, Salvatore Mastranunzio, Italian footballer. 1979, George O'Callaghan, Irish footballer. 1980, Franco Costanzo, Argentinian footballer. 1980, Kevin Sim, British singer.
1981, Daniel Moreno, Spanish cyclist.
1981, Kai Rattel, Estonian opera singer.
1981, Filippo Volandri, Italian tennis player.
1982, Alexander Gajo, Spanish-Swiss footballer. 1983, Eugen Bopp, Ukrainian-German footballer. 1983, Pablo Granoche, Uruguayan footballer. 1983, Lincoln Riley, American football coach. 1983, Anthony Sweeney, English footballer. 1984, Alison Bell, Scottish field hockey player, 9. 1984, Chris Anker Svensson, Danish cyclist, died in 2021. 1985, Justin Dentman, American basketball player, 10. 1985, Ryan Guy, American soccer player. 1986, Colt McCoy, American football player. 1986, Pragyan Oja, Indian cricketer. 1988, Denny Avdic, Swedish footballer. 1988, Felipe Caicedo, Ecuadorian footballer. 1989, Elena Del Don, American basketball player. 1989, Jose Angel Valdez, Spanish footballer. 1989, Ben Youngs, English rugby player.
1990, Antonio Esposito, Italian footballer. 1990, Francesca Segarelli, Dominican tennis player.
1990, Lance Stevenson, American basketball player. 1990, Yoona Kim, South Korean figure skater. 1990, Franco Zuccolini, Argentinian footballer. 1991, Zeki Yavru, Turkish footballer. 1994, Gregorio Poltrinieri, Italian swimmer. 1995, Zabina Slavikovic, Hungarian tennis player. 1996, Richero Zivkovic, Dutch footballer. 1996, Sigrid, Norwegian singer. 1997, Kyoko Saito, Japanese idol, 11. 2001, Bukayo Osaka, English footballer, 12. Deaths. 590, Othari, Lombard king, via 540. 714, Shang, emperor of the Tang dynasty. 1165, Nijo, emperor of Japan, born in 1143. 1235, Henry I, Duke of Brabant, born in 1165. 1311, Amadeus Aba, Hungarian oligarch. 1336, Charles d'Evreux, Count of Étampes, born in 1305. 1526, Alonso de Salazar, Spanish explorer. 1548, Catherine Parr, sixth and last Queen of Henry VIII of England, via circa 1512. 1562, Katharina Zell, German Protestant reformer, born in 1497. 1569, Edmund Bonner, Bishop of London, via circa 1500. 1607, Pompon de Belivre, French politician, Chancellor of France, born in 1529. 1629, Domenico Allegri, Italian singer-songwriter, born in 1585. 1734, Nicolas Bernier, French composer, born in 1664. 1786, Jonas Hanway, English merchant and philanthropist, born in 1712. 1803, Pierre Coderlos de Laclos, French general and author, born in 1741. 1803, François de Vienne, French flute player and composer, born in 1759. 1836, Ferdinand Raymond, Austrian actor and playwright, born in 1790. 1838, Charles Percier, French architect and interior decorator, born in 1764. 1857, Auguste Comte, French sociologist and philosopher, born in 1798. 1876, Manuel Blanco Encalada, Chilean admiral and politician, first president of Chile, born in 1790. 1877, Crazy Horse, American tribal leader, born in 1849. 1894, George Stoneman, Jr., United States Army cavalry officer, born in 1822. 1898, Sarah Emma Edmonds, Canadian-American nurse, soldier, and spy, born in 1841. 1901, Ignacij Klemenčić, Slovenian physicist and academic, born in 1853. 1902, Rudolf Virchow, German anthropologist, pathologist, and biologist, born in 1821. 1906, Ludwig Boltzmann, Austrian physicist and philosopher, born in 1844. 1909, Louis Bouveault, French chemist, born in 1864. 1912, Arthur MacArthur, Jr., American LTG, Army, Medal of Honor recipient, born in 1845. 1917, Marian Smoluchowski, Austrian-Polish physicist and mountaineer, born in 1872. 1920, Robert Harron, American actor, born in 1893. 1922, Georgetta Gutt, French painter, born in 1867. 1926, Karl Harrer, German journalist and politician, born in 1890. 1930, Robert Means Thompson, American soldier, businessman, and philanthropist, born in 1849. 1931, John Thompson, Scottish footballer, born in 1909. 1932, Francisco Acebal, Spanish journalist, author, and playwright, born in 1866. 1932, Paul Byrne, German-American director, producer, and screenwriter, born in 1889. 1934, Sidney Meyer, Russian-Australian businessman, founded Meyer Stores, born in 1878. 1936, Gustave Kahn, French poet and critic, born in 1859. 1942, François de la Bouchère, French soldier and pilot, born in 1917. 1945, Clem Hill, Australian cricketer and footballer, born in 1877. 1948, Richard C. Tolman, American physicist and chemist, born in 1881. 1953, Richard Walther Dahr, Argentinian-German agronomist and politician, born in 1895. 1954, Eugen Schiffer, German lawyer and politician, Vice-Chancellor of Germany, born in 1860. 1955, Hayden Bunton, Sr., Australian footballer and coach, born in 1911. 1965, Thomas Johnston, Scottish journalist and politician, Secretary of State for Scotland, born in 1882. 1966, Deja Lauber, Hungarian golfer, tennis player, and architect, born in 1879. 1970, Johann Rindt, German-Austrian racecar driver, born in 1942. 1972, Alan Kippax, Australian cricketer and businessman, born in 1897. 1973, Jacques Fournier, American baseball player and coach, born in 1889. 1975, Alice Catherine Evans, American microbiologist, born in 1881-13. 1977, Marcel Thierry, Belgian poet and activist, born in 1897. 1979, Alberto Di Giorgio, Italian cardinal, born in 1884. 1980, Don Banks, Australian composer and educator, born in 1923. 1982, Douglas Bader, English captain and pilot, born in 1910. 1984, Adam Malik, Indonesian politician and diplomat, third vice president of Indonesia, born in 1917. 1984, Jane Roberts, American psychic and author, born in 1929. 1985, Johannes Hint, Estonian engineer, born in 1914. 1986, Nirja Bunot, Indian model and youngest recipient of country's highest peacetime military award Ashok Chakra, born in 1963. 1988, Gert Frobe, German actor and singer, born in 1913. 1989,
Philip Baxter, Welsh-Australian chemical engineer, born in 1905, 14.
1990, Hugh Foote, Baron Carradine, English academic and diplomat, born in 1907. 1990, Jerry Iger, American cartoonist and publisher, co-founded Eisner and Iger, born in 1903. 1990, Ivan Mihailov, Bulgarian politician, born in 1896. 1991, Sharad Joshi, Indian author and poet, born in 1931. 1992, Fritz Leiber, American author and poet, born in 1910. 1993, Claude Renoir, French cinematographer, born in 1914. 1994, Shimshon Amitzer, Israeli mathematician and scholar, born in 1921. 1994, John Newman, Australian politician, born in 1946.
1995, Benyamin Sub, Indonesian comedian, actor, and singer, born in 1939. 1995, Salil Chowdhury, Indian music composer, who mainly composed for Bengali, Hindi, Malayalam film and other films.
Born in 1922. 1996, Basil Salvador de Souza, Indian bishop, born in 1926. 1997, Leon Edel, American author and critic, born in 1907. 1997, George Solti, Hungarian conductor and director, born in 1912. 1997, Mother Teresa, Albanian Indian nun, missionary, and saint, Nobel Prize laureate, born in 1910. 1998, Ferdinand Biondi, Canadian radio host, born in 1909. 1998, Willem Dries, Jr., Dutch economist and politician, Dutch Minister of Transport, born in 1922. 1998, Werner Panton, Danish interior designer, born in 1926. 1998, Leo Penn, American actor and director, born in 1921. 1999, Alan Clark, English historian and politician, Minister for Defense Procurement, born in 1928. 1999, Alan Funt, American director, producer, and screenwriter, born in 1914. 1999, Bryce MacCasey, Canadian businessman and politician, Postmaster General of Canada, born in 1921. 2000, Roy Fredericks, Guyanese cricketer and politician, born in 1942. 2001, Justin Wilson, American chef and author, born in 1914. 2001, Vladimir Zerjavic, Croatian economist and academic, born in 1912. 2002, David Todd Wilkinson, American cosmologist and astronomer, born in 1935. 2003, Giselle Mackenzie, Canadian-American singer and actress, born in 1927. 2005, Roberto Viu, Chilean general, born in 1917. 2007, Jennifer Dunn, American engineer and politician, born in 1941. 2007, Paul Gilmore, American lawyer and politician, born in 1939. 2007, Thomas Hansen, Norwegian singer-songwriter and guitarist, born in 1976. 2007, D. James Kennedy, American pastor and author, born in 1930. 2007, Nikos Nikolaitis, Greek director and screenwriter, born in 1939. 2009, Gani Fahinmi, Nigerian lawyer and activist, born in 1938. 2010, Hedley Beer, Australian author and academic, born in 1932. 2010, Guillaume Cornelis van Beverloo, Belgian-Dutch poet and painter, born in 1922. 2012, Edis Bahtiyaroglu, Turkish Bosnian footballer, born in 1986. 2012, Ian Dick, Australian cricketer and field hockey player, born in 1926. 2012, Victoria Fyodorova, Russian-American actress and author, born in 1946. 2012, John Oaksey, English jockey and journalist, born in 1929. 2013, Edwin Biddle, American lawyer and politician, born in 1950. 2013, Jeffrey Goodman, English pilot, journalist, and author, born in 1922. 2013, Isamu Jordan, American journalist and academic, born in 1975. 2014, Bruce Morton, American journalist, born in 1930. 2014, Maron Nusel, German mathematician, author, and academic, born in 1964. 2015, Goh Eng Hua, Malaysian-Singaporean businessman, founded Eng Hua Global, born in 1923. 2015, Adesh Srivastav, Indian singer-songwriter, born in 1964. 2015, Chester Strangsack, American baseball player and businessman, born in 1929. 2016, Hugh O'Brien, American actor, born in 1925. 2016, Phyllis Schlafly, American lawyer, writer, and political activist, born in 1924. 2018, Bhagwatikamar Sharma, Indian Gujarati writer and journalist, born in 1934. 2018, Beatriz Siegel, Brazilian actress, born in 1926.
2019, Francisco Toledo, Mexican painter, sculptor, and graphic artist, born in 1940-15. 2021, Sarah Harding, English singer, member of Girls Aloud, born in 1981-16. Thank you for taking part of this short history of the day. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.